Hi, CAT 24 Quant Solutions. This is part 3 of the slot 1 solutions which are there. Look through the solutions. The basic idea is to understand the methods of how to solve and then try to apply that same methods in your different sums, because what is seen in CAT is questions may be new but the methods, the underlying methods remain the same. So it's important to understand the underlying methods of the previous CAT that will help you to solve questions that are related to CAT. So let's look at it. Now, whenever you have very large numbers, there's a pattern formation which is always there. So you have 10 raised to 100 is divided by 7, the remainder is. Now, there are a lot of concepts on remainder, but I believe those are all useless. They don't come in the examination. Normally, whatever remainder theorems have come in the exam, or remainder questions have come, they're all pattern based. So you have large numbers and you have to find the pattern. Same out here. So when you say 10 raised to 100, right, to try to find the pattern. Now, technically, when I divide 10 raised to 1, by 7, so 10 divided by 7, the remainder is 3. If you look at it, 3 raised to 100, same if you look at it. So when I divide, say I take 3 raised to 1, 3 raised to 1 divided by 7, what's the remainder? 3. 3 square divided by 7, what's the remainder? 2. 3 cube is 27. 27 divided by 7, remainder is 6. 3 raised to 4, technically what you can do is, since 3 raised to 1 remainder is 3, multiply again 3 into 3, 9, 9 divided by 7 remainder is 2, 3 into 2, 6, 6 divided by 7 remainder is 6, 6 into 3, 18, 18 divided by 7 the remainder is 4, 4 into 3, 12, 12 divided by 7 the remainder is 5, 5 into 3, because remainder is 5 3s are 15, 15 divided by 7 the remainder is 1. The moment you get 1, then automatically next remainder will be 3 into 1, 3 remainder divided by 7, the remainder is 3. So this cycle repeats, 3 raised to 7, 3 raised to 8. So it repeats after every 6, the cycle. So which means 3 raised to 12 will remainder 1, 3 raised to 96 also remainder 1, 3 raised to 97 will be 3, 3 raised to 98 will be 2, 99 will be 6, 3 raised to 100 will be 4. So answer is D option. Find the pattern repeat. Normally this is looks very tough. These sums normally look tough, but they're the easiest of sum because you have just to find the pattern. Take the smaller numbers, try to find the pattern, you'll always get. And there's similar sums almost in every CAT which is there. They look difficult and therefore people leave it, but if you can find the pattern, you get the answer immediately. So find the pattern. You can take 10. You can also take 10 raised to 1, 10 square, 10 cube. I've just taken 3 because 10 will give the same remainder as 3 raised to when you divide by 7. 10 divided by 7 remainder is 3 raised to 100, and then try to find a pattern using 3, the remainders. You will see it repeats after 6 cycles. So that means 3 raised to 6, 3 raised to 12, 3 raised to 96 will give you remainder 1. So 3 raised to 100 will be same as remainder of 3 raised to 4, which is 4. The 4 numbers is the average of first two numbers is 1. Now this is one of the easy questions if you can think and try to answer properly. It's not difficult at all. It's actually very simple. So if I look at the first number is x, I take it up. The average of the first two numbers is x plus 1. They said average of first two numbers is 1 more than the first number. So the average should be x plus 1. The second number has to be x plus 2, because average of x and x plus 2 will be x plus 1. Okay. Then the average of first 3 numbers, if I take 3 numbers, is 2 more than the average of first two numbers, so it becomes x plus 3, 2 more than this. So average is x plus 3, first number is x, second number is x plus 2. So if you look at, I normally take a concept called around the average total is 0. So x plus 2 is minus 1 as compared to x plus 3. X is minus 3 as compared to x plus 3. So they are minus 4 as compared to x plus 3. So the next number has to be plus 4 as compared to x plus 3. So it becomes x plus 6. You can do the calculations also. X plus 2 plus less than third number be, say, n. The average of a 3 is equal to x plus 3. Solve this. 2x plus 2 plus n equal to 3x plus 9. So from that number n you will get, take it that side, you will get x plus 7. So you basically get x plus 7. So x plus 3 and minus 4, you add plus 4, you'll get x plus 7. Now once you get that, then average of the first 4 numbers is 3 more than the average of first 3 numbers. So this becomes average becomes x plus 6. 3 more than the average of first 3 numbers. Now when I compare with x plus 6, x plus 7 is plus 1, x plus 2 is minus 4, and x is minus 6. So overall these 3 becomes minus 9. So the last number has to be plus 9 as compared to the average x plus 6. So this becomes x plus 15. You can use this formula, but as I said, forming equation normally takes more time to solve in the examination. So I normally prefer not traditional method, becomes easier and faster to solve. So if you get difference between first number and the last number, the largest number is 15. So here it's 15. Now in this case, if you're a person who is slightly weaker in maths and focus is clearing the cutoffs, then they should take enough time and try to get these answers right. Right? Try to focus on the questions that are easier, ensure they are correct without doing some silly mistakes. For people who are looking at maximizing marks, they should try to focus on maximizing the speed or improving the speed so that they can score more number of questions. 10,000 deposit in a bank A for a certain number of years. Simple interest is 5 years. On maturity, total amount received deposit in bank B for 5 years, 6%. When you say 5 years, 6%, every year you get 6%. So 6% for 5 years will give you 30% interest. Okay, you get 30% interest. Interest received in bank A and B is 10:13. 10:13, I know 30% interest. Just to make it a multiple of 30, I'll take this as 390. I'm multiplying by 30. So this will be multiply of 30 will give you 300. Just for ease of calculation, because I know the interest in the second part is 30%. So 30% is just to make it a multiple of 30, I'm making 390. If 390 is the interest, right, which is 30%, I mean 30% stands for 390. So principal 100% will stand for how much? Right. So if you look at this is 13 times, so this also will be 13 times. So principal will be 1300. So here 1300 is the principal. Now 1300 is the amount after you deposit in the first. Now interest is 300. That means principal in the first case will be 1000. Because 1300 is after what you got from the bank A, you deposit in bank B with 300 interest. So before that, principal has to be 1000. So on 1000 you get 300 interest. That means 30% interest you get. 30% interest, that means 5% interest you get for 6 years. 30% interest means you get 5% interest every year for 6 years, then only you get 30% interest. So time period is 6 years, C option. Right? So you can form equations and then try to solve, becomes slightly lengthier. If you can just try to understand and solve, I took it as 390 purely because 30% interest, so multiple of 30. So that is 30% interest is 390, so 100% becomes 1300, which is the principal of the second bank or the amount in the first bank. Interest in the first bank is 300, so principal in the first bank is 1000. So on 1000 you get 300 interest is 30% interest, 5% 6 years. A shop wants to sell certain amount of grains. If it sells half the quantity, now this is again a very traditional way of solving, which is called a reverse calculation. If you're good at reverse calculation, this becomes very easy to solve. In a reverse calculation, what you do is you start with the end and then go forward. Look at a lot of sums, and we have solved previous sum also, where we went from end to the start. So here also you can go in the end to the start. And when you do reverse calculation, you have to reverse the calculation. So that means you start with n0. You additional 3 kg is the last thing that you did. Okay, that means you removed 3 kg. You gave him 3 kg. So initially you subtracted 3 kg. So here you will add 3. Before that you get sells half. That means divided by 2. So that means you multiply by 2. Here you subtracted 3 to get 0 finally. So you add 3. And then here you half you did. So you get plus 3 and then multiply by 2. So you'll get 6. Again go with the calculation. Again the previous case 3 kgs you sold. So that is minus 3 you did. So you do plus 3. And again half. So multiply by 2 will give you 18. Continuing with the same case, 3 kg you sold, so plus 3. That was 3 kg this one. That means you gave away 3 kg. We did minus 3 in the previous case. So here we do plus 3 and we double. We'll get 42. That's the answer. Simple reverse calculation. You can go directly also. You can take the value as X, the initial value that you have. You sold half the quantity and then you gave 3 kgs. Now from this again you sold half the quantity. and then you gave away 3 kgs. Again you sold half the quantity and you gave away 3 kgs. Finally you get 0. Now go with the calculation. Take -3 that side, you will get is equal to 3. Then take 2 that side. So what will be left is x upon 2 minus 3 upon 2 minus 3 will give you 3 2s are 6. Now take 3 that side, minus 3, you will get 6 plus 3, 9. Then you take 2 that side. So you will get x upon 2 minus 3 is equal to 9 into 2, which is 18. So again you take 3 that side, becomes 18 plus 3, 21. And then you take 2 that side, becomes 42. You can do it an equation calculation as well. So either method is okay. Reverse will become faster. But the moment you put a variable, you have to write, it takes time. Understand that. So if you're aiming a little high, you should avoid writing a lot. Okay, and try to do as far as possible simple calculation in your mind. Now x1, x2, x3 to x100 is an AP, arithmetic progression. x5 is -4, 2x6 plus x9 equal to x11, x13. If you understand, there's a very simple way of solving. You should be able to make out as integers. Now if I want to go to x5 to x100, okay, you're going ahead 95 terms. D will ideally be integer, it will not be a fraction. So that means it has to be -4 plus 95 into something. D, 95 into D will give you the 100 term. Now if you look at the only option which you go about, which is the multiple of 95, is 194, because 95 into -2 plus -4 will give you -194. You can directly answer the question. None of the other options will give you a difference of an integer. For example, if I take -4, if I want to go to 206, there I have to add 210 is not a multiple of 95. Same -4, if I want to go to -196, I have to add my 192, not a multiple of 95. The only thing which is a multiple of 95 is 194. From -4 to -194, you have to go to 95 terms. 180, 95 into 2 is 190, satisfies B option. That's the only option that satisfies. Okay, if you want to calculate, okay. So if I look at twice x6 plus x9 here. Now, average of x11 and x13 is the middle number 12. In arithmetic progression, the middle number is the average. So 12 will be the average. That means x11 plus x13 is also nothing but twice x12. So 2 gets cancelled. Now x6, now x5 is -4, so x will be -4 plus d. You have to add 1 d to go from x5 to x6. Same way, x9 will be -4 plus, from when you go from x5 to x9, you have to add 4d. When you want to go from x5 to x12, you have to add 7d. Right, 5 to 12 will be 7d. You have to add from -4, you have to add d, because every time you add next term, you have to add a d difference. D is the difference. You can solve this if you look at it. Or take all d together, 2d, take -4 on this side, you will get -4. So you will get d as -2. D as -2. So when you go from x fifth term to x 100 term, you're going ahead 95 terms. So from -4, you have to add 95 times d -2. You have to go add 95 times d, which is -2. You get -194. You can also use the formula and then try to solve. That's fine, but this is easier. Putting the formula is always tedious. Formula is used when you want to understand the concept, but beyond concept, if you want to go really fast, try to go one step beyond concept and try to skip steps and go directly with the values. It will become faster to solve and it will help you solve more questions in the examination. Right? So yes, we'll come up with more videos to help you with regards to your preparation. Thank you.